Earth Velocity produces premium wellness and skincare products that are 100% plant-based. In every part of the process, we use environmentally sustainable methods, because in order for the earth to keep us healthy, we have to keep the earth healthy. The plant kingdom provides us with powerful natural oils that activate our body's ability to heal itself. The resulting products are ready to use for wellness, aromatherapy, massage, and skincare. To learn more about Earth Velocity products and the healing benefits of plants, please visit our website at earthvelocity.
Good evening. From the UFTV studio on the campus of the University of Findlay, welcome to tonight's Hancock County Commissioner Candidate Forum. I'm Chris Oakes, host of Good Mornings on WFIN Radio, and I'll be serving as moderator for this evening's forum featuring Republican candidate William Bateson and Democratic candidate Melissa Kritzel. Before we hear from the candidates, allow me to explain the format for tonight's event. Each candidate will be given 2 minutes for any prepared opening remarks. We'll follow that with our question and answer session. Most questions will be posed to both candidates generally, and each candidate will be allotted 2 minutes for their responses. Any follow-up questions or further discussion between the candidates will then be allotted 60 seconds each. Candidates are asked to speak up if they wish to offer a rebuttal to each other's response or expand on a point previously made. Although we will allow a candidate to finish a thought, we ask each of you respect those time limitations so that we may cover as much ground as possible. Before tonight's forum, we drew numbers to determine the order of opening remarks, and we will begin with Mr. Bateson.
Thank you to WFIN and the University of Findlay for hosting and inviting me tonight to participate in tonight's forum. I am here to share a few things about myself and why I believe that I would be an asset in serving Hancock County. I'm a lifelong resident of Hancock County. I have been married to my wife for 26 years, Dr. Angela Bateson, and I am blessed to be raising 4 wonderful children in our community. Please know I am involved in our community coaching various sports at all levels, serving my church through church council and Sunday school. I've spent 19 years in manufacturing, a lifetime agribusiness person, now operating 750 acres in the Arlington area. I have been serving on the Ohio Soybean Council for 8 years. I've served in the position of treasurer, vice chairman, and I'm presently chairman. I've worked with my wife in our investment in her practice, Dr. Angela Bateson Dental, on South Main Street. My wife and I have significant investment in Hancock County through agribusiness to Main Street Findlay, which makes me uniquely qualified to understand many of the issues in our community. I've been asked many times during my campaign, why am I running for this office? I choose a 3-word phrase, responsible community leadership, to describe myself and highlight the traits that are needed in the position of County Commissioner. Responsibility means actually showing up to work, answering the hard questions, and then working the extra hours, which means putting your personal life on hold when needed to serve the voters. The community is the county, city, towns, villages, and townships where we live and work together so that we can all prosper. Leadership is being willing to listen, make the difficult decisions, and be accountable for the results. Leadership is working and putting the common good of others ahead of your own self-interests.
Thank you, Mr. Bateson. Ms. Kritzel?
Thank you, WFIN and University of Findlay TV for hosting this event. I am 43, married for 26 years, lived in Findlay since '96, and after my home changed over the years, I know my experience will guide me through, guide our county into the future. At 18, I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer, and my life changed dramatically, but I won. I've been a survivor for 25 years, and as a result of my experience, I learned the importance of affordable health care and have been an advocate for research and funding for ovarian cancer. I've worked with candidates as diverse as Senator Sherrod Brown, Connie Pillage, and Senator Elizabeth Warren. These experiences qualify me to be your next county commissioner.
Thank you. We'll begin with the questions, and of course, the coronavirus is without question the biggest story of the year, and the extent of its economic impact on government remains unknown at this point. The current commissioners have imposed a 10% across-the-board reduction in the 2021 budget and imposed a hiring freeze. If those measures prove to be insufficient to overcome any shortfall, where would you look next to close that gap, and would there be anything that would be off the table in that discussion? We'll begin with Mr. Bateson.
I have been attending the county commissioners meeting since January. So as of right now, it looks as if the budget is going to be, we're going to be in good shape. Like Chris Oakes mentioned, the county commissioners have asked for the departments to decrease their budgets by 10%. They all did that, and that has really helped. The previous year, we had a very healthy carryover for the county. So as of right now, we're, as in sales tax and that, we're right on pace where we were the previous year. So I don't think any other cuts are going to be needed, at least at this time. If there were any, we just have to go to the departments and ask them to tighten their belts. But they really have done that already, and they've done a really good job.
Ms. Gritzel,
Repeat the question again.
if the measures to reduce the county budget for 2021 in response to the coronavirus prove to be insufficient to overcome any shortfall, where would you look next to close that gap, and would there be anything that would be off the table in that discussion?
I would look at the budget. I've been going to a county commissioners meeting since June. And work within the budget to see what we can do.
Next question for both candidates. Expansion of the Hancock County Jail has been an ongoing issue in the community. Proposals have ranged from expanding the current jail to building an entirely new facility at a different location. Either way, current proposals would reportedly cost anywhere from $35 to $50 million. Do you see this as a want or a need for the county moving forward, and how would you proceed on this issue? We'll begin with Ms. Kritzel for this.
I've met with Sheriff Michael Hellman, and I agree with the new construction on a county owned land at Liberty Township 89 and Hancock County 140 with several options, including structure 252 bed, and the estimated cost of new construction, which is $46.4 million. And then jail expansion has been estimated at $37 million. Hired $37 million by MJ Martin, a jail consulting company in Nebraska, hired by the commissioners to debate or determine options. So I definitely agree with it.
And Mr. Bateson.
The tough thing for the county in this situation is we don't always get to determine whether it's a need or a want. The state will come in and look at our facilities, and they'll eventually impose that we do update our facilities. So we have to look to do that. Our current jail is 31 years old. Some estimates, some reports say that the lifespan of the jail is 30 years. So as we move forward with our present facilities, it looks like we're already on borrowed time. We just spent $1.3 million in updating the jail doors. We're doing some roof improvements, some gutter improvements, and we also did some plumbing improvements, which will hold us for an extended time, but we don't know. And we need to, as a county, we need to get better information on how much longer the present jail will serve us. On expanding, we have been spending $500,000 a year on outside facilities for our prisoners, and where 80% of the people housed in our criminal system in the county are nonviolent offenders. As we move forward, we do have the possibility that when the jail was built in '89, the ability to expand to the west, but the city owns that lot at that present time. So as we look at what we need to do in the county compared to wants, the needs are going to outweigh the wants. So we'll have to look at that. And as we move forward, those are some of the things we need to look at, whether expansion out on 140 is even possible, expansion downtown is possible. We have to look at where we are with our taxes, where we are with our sales tax, and the pandemic is a new problem that's crept up, and we're going to have to take all that into consideration as we look at the sales tax and we move forward.
As a follow-up, and again, for both of you, with respect to the point that you brought up, Mr. Bateson, the pandemic, as we were talking about, has kind of thrown a monkey wrench in those plans. And perhaps maybe delayed those. I guess my question is, where would that new jail facility be within the priority structure for you?
Well, it's going to be a must because our present facility it'll age out, and it would be nice if we wouldn't outgrow it. But right now we have too many prisoners. So what we need to do is collect more information. Right now is the information collection time, where we can go to other counties and look at their facilities. We can look at our criminal system. Right now, I believe we have 12 to 16 diversion programs in this county to avoid people serving jail time. And I think that's really important as we discuss our jail and our facilities and those type of things. What are we doing to avert people to go to jail in the first place? That would be a great way to go. But once again, we're going, with the changes in the laws from the state, putting more responsibility on the counties to house their own misdemeanors and their felonies, we will have to take care of that. And that's going to be a great topic of conversation over the next couple of years on how in a community, how many jail cells will we need? The proposal is up to 300. Back in '89, before we built the new jail, we had a jail of 25 cells in the county. Now we're at 98. They're full. Why do we need that many jails? I think that needs to be part of the conversation too. Not to say that we haven't asked that all along, but that's really going to be a topic of conversation for the community to talk about.
And Ms. Kritzel, again, the same question with respect to prioritizing the jail over other needs within the county. Where do you put that in terms of the priority structure?
It's a high priority. There are 98 jails and it's always full, so the sheriffs have to move them to another county. So with the expansion or a new building, they wouldn't have to do that.
Again, to expand on this point and to the point that Mr. Bateson alluded to, the need for additional jail space is brought on by a rise in drug addiction and crime in general, recognizing that keeping crime low in the first place is the most effective way to reduce jail overcrowding. What programs or policies do you believe would help lower addiction and crime rates in Hancock County? And again, we'll begin with Mr. Bateson.
That's really outside of the commissioner's realm on that, but I know our judicial system, we do get a touch on that a little bit because we help fund those, and that's what our sales tax dollars and our property tax dollars go to. I don't have any right off the top of my head about what diversion programs, but I know the sheriff and presently we have drug court where the judges see those. I believe it's every other Tuesday or every Tuesday, and where they try to help the people on addiction avoid the jail time, do the things that will keep them out of jail. It's a savings. It's less interruption in their life, and it's less responsibility for the county and the jail program. The drug problem is a problem in our county, and there's multiple factors. Unfortunately, the pandemic has brought that to a greater understanding in the community because isolation does not help the addict. Right now, I know at least on the youth side, trying to keep our youth involved in things and positive aspects like 4-H and Sunday school and Scouts. Prevention is always better. I think there's a lot of health experts that we can go and ask where we can move forward and to help with the actual drug addiction.
And Ms. Kritzel, again, the same question. What programs or policies do you believe would help lower addiction and crime rates in Hancock County?
There's the Support the Adams Board, rehabilitation homes, addiction services, to help them with their rehab and recovery. I support that, and which should help them.
Moving on, the jail is not the only significant facilities issue facing the commissioners. Probate and juvenile court judge Kristen Johnson has actually filed legal action seeking movement in her request to construct a new court building, the location and design of which is something the current commissioners have been unable to fully agree on. What is your preferred path forward with regard to construction of a new probate and juvenile court building? And we'll start with Ms. Kritzel for this question.
I actually toured the probate juvenile court and met with the judge, and we definitely need a new building because the roof could collapse and it's a huge safety issue.
And Mr. Bateson.
I think we're the size, that our county and city are the size where we really need to work together to build facilities for our public system. The municipal court building is a fantastic facility. I would like us to add on to that, be able to work with the city and save some money there in the long term by attaching on to the municipal building. We'd save in the officer at the check-in point through the metal detector, and I think we need to work together with the city a lot more on some of those facilities to save the taxpayers' dollars. One proposal or one idea that I have heard from a construction person is to build on the south end of the municipal building, elevate the building up so that the parking lot would be able to stay there, add on a two-story structure where the probate and juvenile court could be. I think the standalone building at $9 million is a little over more than what we want to spend. I think we need to work with definitely with the judge and the architect to par back those costs. If not, we need to find that new facility. Like Melissa, I did tour the probate juvenile court. Back in 16 when I ran, I had a chance to tour that, and at that time I didn't think it was worth the county to spend any money in updating that. That facility has served us well for 150 years, and it's time to move on from that.
With regard to the current building housing that court, Commissioner Bechtel has proposed renovating it for record storage for the county, but he has been blocked from seeking bids for that renovation by the other two commissioners on the board. What are your thoughts on what should become of the current probate juvenile court building, Mr. Bateson?
I think, like I just got done explaining, I think it's served its time. I think it's been a good building, and it's served. I think we probably need to look at possibly a little less expensive, if I may say, facility to find our records in. That's probably one of the top 5 responsibilities or goals that I'm looking at as serving as commissioner to update our record storage. Presently, we have we're asking our county employees and departments to work around boxes of paper and those type of things, and I think Hancock County can do a lot better. It would be nice to find a facility close to the courthouse. That's where most of our records are kept, and to work with the clerk of courts and the recorder in that aspect to find a nice safe storage. And if we could find one big enough to even house the voting machines that the Board of Election presently have. I think it might be time to possibly build some type of record storage to satisfy those needs.
And Ms. Kritzel, your thoughts on the future of the current probate juvenile court building and its use?
I would agree that we need to have a new building for the records, to store the records. If the jail is built, new jail is built, then we could house them in that building, as well as the voting machines.
Thank you very much. You both have spoken during the course of the campaign in broad general terms about economic development in order to keep Hancock County strong. Mr. Bateson has talked about keeping the county attractive for businesses and families to make it their home. Ms. Kritzel has spoken of ensuring a better future. What specifically would you do as commissioner as an example of realizing that vision for the county's future? And we'll begin with Ms. Kritzel.
Um, I would support having better jobs, unions. And, sorry, it's nervous. God grief, I can do that. We should continue to bring jobs into the county. What we really need are good paying jobs with good benefits. No one should have to work multiple jobs to make ends meet, so we need to continue bringing good jobs while we still requiring all the employers to pay their fair share of taxes and to support the community.
And Mr. Bateson?
Through the Commissioner's Office, we're responsible for the expansion of our roads, our water, getting those to the facilities as we work with economic development to bring in those new jobs. Campbell Soup is a great example up on just off 99. I think 99 is a great example of what the commissioners have done to help expansion of business by looking forward and expanding those roads and moving water up there. I would like to help continue with the water line that has been installed around the landfill. I think that's a great opportunity for the county to expand up that way with their businesses and any manufacturing that would come in. And I think another aspect of that is helping keep our budget tight in the county. A low sales tax, a high quality place to live, that's what makes things attractive to people and business that want to move into the county. By watching our budget and helping the roads and those type of things expand, but really making it attractive because that's what people move to Hancock County for, is the opportunity to increase their own opportunities in business.
I'd like to pose a couple of individual questions along these same lines regarding things that have been said or written in this campaign. First, Ms. Kritzel, you have spoken about bringing living wage union jobs that provide benefits to the county, arguing that no one should have to work multiple jobs to pay their bills. How would you do that as a commissioner? How would you work toward that goal?
I would be bipartisan, look at the budget, and support bringing those jobs in, infrastructure.
Very good. And Mr. Bateson, for you, you have said that affordable housing should be a private sector solution. The government's role should be to support the needs of developers. But isn't there a role for leaders such as yourself, if elected, to find ways to encourage or even provide incentives to fill what many say is clearly a community need?
Well, I think one aspect of it is I just talked with a realtor this week and talking about affordable housing, and one of my goals is to help people take open lots inside our villages, inside the city, and rehab them. Take neighborhoods and rehab them to make them more attractive to young people, young couples moving in that want to live inside of city limits. One aspect that has been done in Allen County is where the new home buyer would only pay the sales tax on the lot. The county has given up the sales tax on the structure to help promote the sale and rehab of communities inside the city limits. I thought that was, and I just heard that last week, I thought that was a really novel idea. Maybe that's something that we could look at, the city needs to look at, where the county could work along with that. I think developing or redeveloping the neighborhoods inside our city limits where we already have water, sewer, roads already built is a plus for our community. Several years ago, I traveled up to Toronto, and they had a very active rehabilitation system for their communities where they were taking old lots, getting rid of the houses that were abandoned or empty, and new houses were being built there, which brought in new families, new monies, new people living inside the city limits, which is great because that also helps, which is one of the commissioner's responsibility, help preserve farmland. We don't always, farmland isn't just bare, undeveloped ground. That is productive, and we need to look at rehabbing our villages and our cities.
Thank you very much. Again, this is the Hancock County Commissioner Candidate Forum featuring Republican candidate William Bateson, Democratic candidate Melissa Kritzel. We will continue after this brief break. Welcome back to tonight's Hancock County Commissioner Candidate Forum featuring Republican candidate William Bateson and Democratic candidate Melissa Kritzel. I'm Chris Oakes, host of Good Mornings, and we are coming to you from the UFTV studio on the campus of the University of Findlay. Continuing with our discussion now, Mr. Bateson spoke specifically about cooperation and collaboration with the city of Findlay and other entities on a couple of different issues. I want to pose this to both of you because clearly cooperation with other elected leaders is essential for a well-run community. Are there areas that you feel that this may be lacking, and how would you foster improved and better communications and collaboration with city leaders and other elected officials? We'll begin with Mr. Bateson.
Of course, the obvious is meet with the other elected officials, talk about what's in common, talk about what we can do together. That's always the first step. Talk about, let's get something positive moving. And I don't think there's that much difference right now. Sitting down with the mayor, sitting down with the council members and those type of things, going to their meetings, inviting them to ours, having an open dialogue, and just talking about the common things, because I'm sure 90% of what's on the agenda is a common goal between the county and the city. I don't think there's that much of a problem there. I feel that they can always come and talk to the commissioners. It's an open meeting. That's why they have them twice a week, so that people can come in and talk with the commissioners, talk about the concerns, and on those type of improvements. I think another aspect forward is to work on some joint projects together. Right now there are several properties from the flood mitigation that have been purchased with county dollars and city dollars, and those lots need to be worked out together where they can save the county money and the city money and jointly mow those and maintain those type of things. I think another aspect of working together has been the benching project in downtown Findlay and along the Blanchard River. I think that's a real positive for the county and the city as they work together. And as phase 2 starts in benching project, I think that's going to be a positive for both county and city as we work forward to create that green space. I know the mayor is really excited about the possibility of what can be done with that green space for a gathering point for the city and the county.
And Ms. Kritzel, your thoughts on fostering communication and collaboration with city leaders and other elected officials?
I would be bipartisan, willing to work with them, talk with them, communicate with them, have them come to welcome to our meetings on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and foster that relationship and get to know them better and help them out.
Obviously, no discussion about Hancock County issues would be complete without some mention of flood mitigation. Although it is largely in the hands of the Maumee Watershed Conservancy District at this point with Stantec Engineering providing guidance, there are still some large projects which remain to be tackled, most notably the overflow basin, which alone is estimated to be a $60 million project. Where do you stand on continuing to move forward with those additional flood mitigation efforts and the cost of any such projects? And we'll begin with Ms. Kritzel.
I fully support it. We need to focus on keeping the Blanchard River, the Maumee rivers, and reservoir free of tires, trash, and log jams, maintaining our ditches free of debris, and help reduce flooding in the communities.
Very good. And Mr. Bateson?
The Maumee Valley Conservancy District, they have complete control of that. What we can do as a county is we can still work on the rail bridge, the Norfolk Southern rail bridge that is just west of Main Street Bridge. You can see it. We are working with the railroad and developing a plan to put in a new bridge which will lengthen that, which will open up. That's kind of a bottleneck right now. That's one of the things. The Maumee Valley, or the Eagle Creek Diversion Basin is probably the best that we could hope for. It's a little bit larger than what I would hoped. I'm not a big fan of taking farm ground out of production, but I do understand that the water retention for up to 48 hours is the best bet for the downtown Findlay area and Findlay as a whole and Hancock County as a whole for protection of flood. As that moves forward, I know they're looking for dollars from the state for that assistance, so I think that's a few years away, and then the maintenance of it will be on the Maumee Valley Conservancy District to maintain that project, which they'll look for Hancock County for contributions for that.
You mentioned the number of flood properties, obviously, that the county owns, the city and county own jointly. Obviously, what to do with those properties is limited because the reason that they are publicly owned in the first place is because that they are flood prone. But do you have any thoughts on what to do with those properties other than to leave them empty, or is that the best option? Again, we'll start with Mr. Bateson.
Really just green space and maintenance is about the only option for those, because any bought with FEMA money cannot be rebuilt on, and in the total benefit to the county and the city, it's best to leave those open. So we do have area for the water to go when it rises like that. Since 1964, I believe they have, or 62, they have looked at different studies. They've looked to what has happened down on the Miami, down in the Dayton area. We didn't want to go that way. We didn't want cement walls. We didn't do those type of water prevention, flood prevention programs. So we ended up with the benching project, which Stantec designed, which has been proven throughout the Midwest, in not only Ohio, but in Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, where benching is the best project. best answer to flooding situation. And it's great for water quality too, because we have to be concerned about what we're sending on to Lake Erie and the algae problem up there. But benching has been proven by far in the Midwest to be the solution to the answer to the problem. And our geographic in Hancock County did not lend well to this concrete walls and those type of things. So our benching project needs to continue forward, and that helps with the green space that those lots need to stay in green space.
And again, Ms. Kritzel, just to follow up, any thoughts on anything that should be done with those flood properties other than just leaving them the way they are at green space?
I would agree that we need to leave them as they are, or make them into a park so kids can enjoy it, and continue with the benching project and making sure the rivers and lakes are free of debris, trash, tires, and log jams.
I have to thank you both. We've been very efficient going through all of the questions that I had prepared for this evening. And so at this point, I will simply ask, are there any additional issues that you feel compelled to address for voters that we haven't already discussed to this point? And we'll begin with Ms. Kritzel.
There's environmental, the people love litter landing, and it's an important service. Make sure they're hiring more people, have recycling bins, and recycling bins throughout the county, make that accessible. Yeah, and support the landfill.
Do you have, to follow up with Ms. Kritzel, do you have any specific proposals or specific ideas with respect to things like recycling, litter landing, and so on to improve those services for the county?
Continue funding them.
And Mr. Bateson?
I think, like Melissa said, I think the landfill is a really great example of some forward thinking by our past commissioners. I believe we're one of 5 counties in Ohio that still operates their own landfill, and that has been a real plus for the county. The methane gas that is recovered from the landfill pays back $50,000 to the general fund every year because the electricity generated by the methane gas that's taken over there. And of course, when you have your own landfill like that, you do need to provide recycling, and that's our litter landing, which serves up to 300 cars a day on some days in there. I know the one building they're looking to replace that because of the structure. So hopefully we're going to be getting an upgrade on some of those things. I look forward to helping and participating in modernizing that facility. I think that's a plus. I think we continue. I think JFS, Job and Family Services, has been a real positive in our community. They're serving a lot of people. Those are one of the things that the commissioner helps fund. They hired a director full-time for that, and that's been a real positive in our community. And I think everything else, I think Hancock County is just a great place to be, great place to raise your family, and a great place to start your business. And I think that's what we need to aspire to and help promote.
You did bring up Job and Family Services. As most folks know, they have asked for additional funding a couple of times recently, and they have seen an increased demand for their services, the family services side, with the increase in the addiction rate and so on, and how that has impacted families. We were talking a little bit briefly earlier. Your thoughts on as you mentioned, the county does fund Job and Family Services. That is an ongoing concern where costs are going up. What thoughts do you have to address those ongoing issues?
As just last year, the voters approved a $1.2 million levy to help with child care through JFS. I'm not sure what today, presently, the numbers are, but that really increased from in the 50s and 60s to over 100, around 116 children that JFS is responsible for that we're helping. And that cost range can be from anywhere from $600 to $19 a day. So we have quite a range that we need to help and pay for on those type of things. And thank you to the voters for passing that, because now that money is going right there. It no longer will come out of the general fund. That's going right to JFS, because JFS, that's a big tent. A lot of offices are under JFS that help our community.
And Ms. Kritzel, your thoughts on the work and the needs within the community, Job and Family Services?
I really support it, and I'm glad that they're self-funding, and if we need help funding, I agree with that, especially with WIC, providing jobs is really important.
And at this point, we will move on to closing remarks. Again, because we were extremely efficient in getting through all of our prepared questions for this evening, we will move forward with the closing remarks, and we'll begin with Ms. Kritzel.
I would bring a different perspective to the table. As a survivor, a woman, and a middle-class individual, I will bring compassion, honesty, integrity to the county commissioner. I will listen to the citizens of Hancock County and let their voices be heard. Vote for me on November 3rd.
Thank you. Mr. Bateson.
I have been involved with youth for my whole adult life, and I always wonder about the future. I am concerned about inflation and what the cost of living will be for our children and grandchildren. I want Hancock County to spend tax dollars responsibly. I believe in supporting economic development to increase the tax base by growth, not by increasing tax rate. The two commissioners will join Commissioner Bechtel and continue with Blanchard River improvements to limit flood damage. They will begin evaluation of the county's needs to improve our county jail facilities. As well, we look to improve our record retention ability. These are projects that will require decisive action to best serve Hancock County for many years. As a candidate, I have met with many township trustees, village mayors, and village council members. I asked them if they are being served by the commissioner's office. Unlike a mayor, the Board of County Commissioners is made up of 3 individuals that represent the public as a group. I believe that the community believes that all 3 of the commissioners should be actively involved, not only at the commissioner level, but at the community level as well. I see the Board of Commissioners as being the face of our county. We are the caretakers of the county budget and are responsible for the county's assets. The commissioners are the official representatives of Hancock County. I'm asking for your vote on November 3rd to join the Board of County Commissioners. Thank you.
We'd like to thank Mr. Bateson and Ms. Kritzel for taking part in this evening's forum, and thank you for joining us tonight. As a footnote, there are actually 2 county commissioner seats up for grabs in this election. The first to be filled by one of the candidates that you've heard from this evening. The other will be filled by Republican Mike Pepple, who is running unopposed. A reminder that early voting is now underway in Ohio. Absentee ballots can be mailed or dropped off now at the Hancock County Board of Elections, and Election Day itself is Tuesday, November 3rd. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Chris Oakes. Good night.
Earth Philosophy produces premium wellness and skincare products that are 100% plant-based. In every part of the process, we use environmentally sustainable methods, because in order for the earth to keep us healthy, we have to keep the earth healthy. The Plant Kingdom provides us with powerful natural oils that activate our body's ability to heal itself. The resulting products are ready to use for wellness, aromatherapy, massage, and skincare. To learn more about Earth Philosophy products and the healing benefits of plants, please visit our website at earthphilosophy.com.